What's up, y'all? It is Sunday, September 1st, 2024. I am LTJ Reeves, and this is Throwing Light. And if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. Tonight's guest we have is David Smith. Before I introduce David and we get started, I do want to remind everyone that Ashwell was a big inspiration in inspiring Throwing Light. And I want to remind you guys in the local community to please visit Ashwell. Please learn about the services they provide for us physically, emotionally. They even have a food bank there. If you're someone outside of Austin and you want to help our community, please donate to ashwellatx.org. They even have a food bank that you can donate to as well. So before we, I guess we're done with that, let's go ahead and kick it over to David, my IML brother, David Smith, Mr. G.N.I. Leather 2023, IML class 46. You were previously on the show that I had with the first IML session as a group. David, welcome. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how you got into the community.
Thanks, Lewis. I've kind of been in the leather kink community for a number of years. And then almost exactly a year ago this week, my first time at G.N.I, some friends of mine who had been in the leather contest community for a while, including my sash dad, Chris Gonzalez, convinced me to run for Mr. G.N.I Leather. I thought it would just be a fun experience, and then I won. To my surprise. I'm glad I did it because I've had an amazing time and I've learned a lot and made a lot of really good friends like you.
That is great. I like how you ended it like that, like me. So anyways, so David, yeah. So, before we go a little bit further, let's talk a little about the G.N.I leather title, what it is, what it stands for, and, how that makes a play, because it's a nudist title. So please, tell the audience what the title is, how it started, and what it means to the community.
Yeah, sure thing. So G.N.I stands for Gay Naturists International. G.N.I has an annual event up in the Pocono Mountains that they call The Gathering every year at a campsite. You can see pictures of the campsite behind me. There's some guys playing naked sand volleyball in the background there. This picture was from just a couple weeks ago. So G.N.I has been doing The Gathering for 35 years or so. And the Mr. G.N.I leather title has been around for about 20 years. Previous winners were a friend of mine, Dave Barnett, and of course, Chris Gonzalez, as I mentioned, and then Ralph Bruno won and went all the way at IML to win IML back in 2017.
That's awesome. And Ralph Bruno is my judge for my competition, and he's an amazing person. It's great.
He's an amazing guy.
I have had Ralph Bruno on the show too when we did Austin Kink Weekend special. So if you guys want to go back and look for that episode, yeah, Ralph Bruno is an amazing human being.
Yeah, he is.
So, that being said, you're in Dallas, right?
Yep, I live in Dallas.
So the title, anyone, anywhere can compete for this title.
Yeah, it is a quote unquote international title because it's G.N.I is an international organization. So we actually have people from around the world that show up to attend our gathering every year in August. So any of them could easily go for the title and win it as well.
I imagine it's a very diverse crop of contestants every year.
It can be, yeah. We've had one of the guys that I competed with last year actually just won a week or so ago and is now my sash son.
So how long have you been a part of this community? Like how long were you in it before you decided that you wanted to pursue a title?
So, I mean, I've been kind of in and out of the leather community for well over 10 years. I dabbled with Discipline Corps, which is a kind of a kink run organization here in Dallas, starting about 10 or 12 years ago. I've often gone to leather events like MAL and IML and Folsom, but I've never really dipped my toe in the title arena until last year.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, okay. What was your motivation? What drove you? Because, it is leadership.
Yeah, so I saw it as a way to, if I had won, I saw it as a way to kind of further something I'd already started about 6 months before I ran for the title, which is an organization called Salon Natural. And we are a nudist group in North Texas. And we gather monthly and make art together in the naked, in the nude. So I saw the platform that Mr. G.N.I Leather gave me as a way that I could further that organization and bring queer and kink art and artists more visibility and acceptance.
That's awesome. So we're both in Texas,
Mhm.
and we would say, you're technically not a Texas title holder, but you're involved, and we much think of you as a part of us. Obviously, you're here. You are a
Yeah.
Texas title holder, really, because you
Yep.
operate in the Texas capacity a lot, doing things in events. I was glad to be a part of what is a phenomenal idea, and I hope that we really can like push this with the naked drawing.
Oh yeah.
The drink and draw. It was a really cool idea. David actually came in town to Austin, to the Austin Eagle, and did the event there, where you just show up and essentially you draw and drink and draw. Basically, it's a really cool thing. It's a different thing. They provided all the materials for people to use.
Yep.
So it was a very cool thing. And what I want to bring that up to is that creativity. And I think with the title like yours, and I think my title being the first one, I had to try to be creative, but like, you know, people don't think about how we try to come up with ways to merge our sexual nature and art, or like, because you
Mhm.
also are a photographer, and there's a big difference between being a nudist and living a culture that is something that you can adapt to and understand. But then you have people that are just kind of doing things willy-nilly, and they get confused. And it's just kind of like the difference between, like, where does erotic art and porn start? And
Yep.
we all have different, I really have a different view of what I think is pornography and what other people might think, and so is that. And because I've been doing erotic work for a bit now, and it's an artistic expression. I rather sometimes put my sexual energy into something artistic rather than having the actual active sex.
Mhm.
It's a headspace type of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, there's a fine line between erotic art and pornography. And as was famously said by I think a Supreme Court judge, what is porn? I'll know it when I see it. But erotic art also, one of the important aspects about that is that it gives representation to people who are involved in the kink community or other ways of being sexual. When you see an erotic art piece that incorporates something like bondage or pup play or something else that's not normal quote unquote porn, it gives those people that do participate in that a way to feel represented in the art community. And that's why it's important to make it more visible.
And every aspect of the sexual experience can be artistic, and that's what I don't think people like. Because, and I'm going to be forward to say like that, just like say human ejaculation, that can be photographed, that can be artistic.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like, and so, and I think it's unfortunate for us to be looked at liberal or over sexualized for not making something so taboo, so scared, like saying there's a God that's in our bedroom. Like, these types of things don't, like, think about how much of yourself you're holding back by denying your entire existence.
Yeah.
And sex is important to a lot of people. It is not my priority number one. It is not. However, I am very much in a community where we are attacked by our sexuality. And that's why we are often put in this, what I say, kind of a corner where we have to overshow our sexuality to make ourselves feel okay.
Yep.
But, make people understand that we have feelings and, we exist too, and we're not doing anything to hurt you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's why that
Um,
representation is important, because when you are being attacked for your sexuality, but yet you see erotic art representing what you feel to be your core self, then you feel more secure in yourself, even though those outsiders are attacking you.
well, we had a short discussion. You said as a photographer that you enjoy it more as a hobby than as a professional thing.
Mhm.
What type of things were you, what typically has been what your focus on photography has been?
So most of my photography has been in the realms of kind of landscape art or architecture photography, but I also do some erotic male nude photography. I
Hopefully
really enjoy
me.
doing that. Hopefully you, yeah, let's get that started. Next time you're up in Dallas, let's make
You're
that
going to be out
happen.
of town. I'm going to be there on the 14th,
I know.
but I'll be back in November.
Yeah, we're just 3 hours away from each other. We'll make it
That's
happen.
true. It's really not that far.
No, yeah. So that's what I focused on in terms of my art.
Okay. So, what led to the idea of the drinking draw?
The drink and draw was something that I'd seen that was happening in another city. And it occurred to me that we can do that here in Dallas. Let's do it at the Eagle, the new Dallas Eagle, and have some models show up and just let people show up and draw while they're having a cocktail and socializing. And the first event we did, we had like 40 artists show up for three different models for a couple hours. Um, so it's a great way to kind of socialize at a bar that's not centered around alcohol. It's a great way to socialize with other artists in a comfortable, safe space. And it's a great way to bring some business into the bar on what might otherwise be a slow night in the middle of the week.
So, you just mentioned earlier that, you just had your step down, you have your sash on now too.
Mhm.
What does the post sash life look like for you now? The post sash life.
So
What's up? I've been telling everybody I'm taking a vacation in November, like for the whole month, there'll be no new business. So like, I don't know how you're feeling.
yeah, basically it's been a little over a week since I stepped down, and even though it is a 3 day holiday weekend this weekend, I'm pretty much not doing a whole lot. I'm taking a break myself. I'm looking forward to helping my Sash son on his journey to IML next year, helping out Mr. Dallas Eagle contestant who won a couple months ago. You came and judged for that. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes, thank
Um,
you.
so I'm helping him out a little bit because I'm involved a little bit with the Dallas Eagle. So I want to make sure both of them have a great experience and a great fun time at IML.
That's great. Are you going to return to IML next year?
Oh yeah, I'll be there next year.
Yeah, I'll be going back too. So it feels like a completion to the story, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, the story goes on because Salon Natural will continue.
Well,
The drink and
let me
draws
go
will
like this:
continue. But
completion to our IML journey, like our
oh,
actual journey.
I
Like
see what you mean.
it's
Yeah.
a 1 year thing. Like here we are, and we're getting ready to do the next IML session. It's been 3 months. Technically we're still of relevancy for 9 more months until the new IML class comes in.
Yeah.
And
Many
a
of
lot of
our
people talk
siblings still
about
have their titles and haven't
that's
stepped
true
down yet.
too. That too. Um, It's just very interesting. It's interesting to because a lot of people say, hey, the real work starts after, after IML or after your sash. And um, I think that this being getting a title and relatively early in my career has been a great like introduction to what I can do. But you like you said, you've been 10 years. It's been 2 years for me. So
Mhm.
it's been a very fast, upswing kind of thing. But there's so much I am naive to and so much more learning that I need for me to really feel like, like I don't have a there is no I don't see another title in my future, but if I were ever to do anything like that, I want to make sure I'm ready and I'm a fully realized version of myself.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I didn't feel fully cooked when I was there. I felt great in terms of interview, but just not in the pecs and personality thing. Just because I was just like, I'm still figuring out types of leather, honestly.
There was certainly a lot of imposter syndrome that I felt in at IML, feeling like, I didn't belong there. But then, by the end of the event, we had become such a tight knit group class that I did really feel like I belonged with that group.
That's great. That's great. What has been so? Let's see. We were all there for you had the pool party after the same weekend of Mr. Dallas competition.
Yeah,
We have the group chat and all that type of stuff. What's it like having, this group of brothers and siblings, non-binary?
I mean, it's amazing. I saw Jimmy's speech from, I guess it was last night, and he talked
Yes.
about how, we have that WhatsApp chat that we thought would quieten down after IML, and it just keeps going every day. And um, that's an amazing thing that I think it shows the the it shows how we as a class bonded with each other, and how strong that bond is. And I know that I can reach out to anybody on my class if I need something, and I know that they will do what they can to help, and vice versa.
I agree. Like, I had a bit of a dip a couple weeks ago and I forgot who I was and I forgot what I went through. And we went through that, David.
Hmm.
And let us not forget that, and it,
Absolutely.
with the way community work can be sometimes, and especially if you're, us as title holders, yeah, we're getting help and assistance, but we're taking initiative to lead these things, and it's
Hmm.
kind of lonely sometimes because it's not, what I'm saying, like it because it's you spearheading something and you're focused on the task, bringing everybody together. It's a solo, what I'm saying, it's a solo
Yep.
thing because when you're done with it, and then it's kind of like sometimes we don't get to enjoy the things that we do because we're busy putting them on.
Yep. It's a
So it's
lot of
hard to see
work
the let me put it like that.
putting on event.
So it's hard to see the impact that we make while we're in the work we're trying to make an impact with. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. No, it absolutely
And
makes
I
sense.
encourage we need to be a little bit more vocal about who we're supporting and saying that because a lot of us assume that people know we're supporting them or care for them. And there are times, like I said, where I feel like, well, I don't feel like anyone's, am I doing a good job? Someone tell me, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yep.
I say, just tell your leaders you appreciate them. Tell them why you appreciate them. Don't just put them in a position and just be like, well, we elected them. That was my appreciation.
Yep.
We
Yeah, I see what you're
have
saying.
we have days where our mental health isn't the greatest.
Yeah, I've been there.
Of course, I mean you just talked about that. So what do you feel? Do you feel that you would do another title in the future?
I don't really feel or see myself doing another title. Um, I could see myself um, being involved in the title circuit in terms of helping others um, achieve what their goals are, because I can share my experience with them. But right now, I don't see myself going for another title.
I've got two. question. One is the final question, but we're not going to get there. We got a little more time, but I got a fun question I want to do. All right, David, if you could produce your own title competition, what would it be?
Oh wow. I hadn't thought about that before. Well, I mean, we have a local Dallas Eagle, um, but we don't have a local. I think there could be fun to have nudist title holders. What do you do for the nudist community? What do you do for mental health around body image and body shaming? And how do you think you can help alleviate that or add to that with a nudist title? That might be fun.
So
Or an
let me
artist title.
understand this. So are you saying you want to see more like regional nudist titles?
That might be
Is
fun.
that what you're saying? Like more
Yeah,
regional contests?
yeah, that might be fun.
I don't see why not. I think that, that the G.N.I being an international thing, I mean, like you have to really, I feel like you have to know what's going on and have that desire to even know that's on the radar, really, huh? So
Yeah,
I think that would bring better awareness, but also eliminate the stigma that just because you have a nudist title, you can't run for the Miss IML or be a title holder is a title holder and they represent things in different ways. I wrestle with, will I ever have like just a full closet of like full leather? I don't wear full leather a whole lot. I mean, I would, but it's just like one, expensive. Two,
and it's hot in
it's
Texas to
hot.
wear that much
It
leather.
is really hot, and it's not a joke. It's not a joke. I
Yeah,
marched in the Pride Parade in my jeans with a leather stripe and just my vest with my mirror cap, and I was just sweating in
yeah.
boots, and I just marched in a parade here in New Orleans, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and funny enough, one of the contestants in the contest, the first contestant, and well, I don't know if you just want to watch this, but it's not anything to do. But he said in his interview that so when he came in, he had just kind of a casual look on. It wasn't much leather thing. He was like, man, I didn't want to walk 45 minutes here in full leather. And I mean, like, it's like, okay,
I wouldn't want to do that in August in
but
New Orleans either.
but I'm like, take a Lyft or an Uber next time. But like, I mean, it's Texas heat is not a joke.
No, no, it's not. And
So like,
I got to ask that question a lot as a Mr. G&I. You bring that up about a nudist title. I got that question a lot about how did you win a leather contest at a nudist event?
right.
Um, and the answer I always give to that is that the leather is just kind of the uniform of a leather man. It's not. It doesn't make you a leather man. That your character, what you do for the community, how you mentor others in the community. That's what makes you a true leather man. So winning the title at a nudist event doesn't make you any less of a leather man.
One of my questions for the contestants was you forgot all your leather. You show up to a leather event, they're at the door. They want you to convince them why they should let you in without leather. How do you convince them you're a leather man without having leather on? That was the question. And everybody's understand leather is a state of mind.
Yep,
Anyone can put leather on, but being in leather is a state of mind.
absolutely.
Okay. And it's an empowerment that transcends our community. There are plenty of heterosexual spaces too that use leather for empowerment too. In a
Hmm.
lot of ways, sometimes we intersect, it just depends on what's going on. All right, David. So we are down to the final question that I ask everybody. Is there anything in our community that you think that we are not shedding enough light on, if any?
Oh wow. I don't think. Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think we shed enough light on the diversity of the leather community. Um, we seem to kind of get in our little cliques where we've got kind of the old school leather guys, and we've got kind of the new school leather youngsters who are into the pup or pet community. or other niches of the leather community, the kink community. And I don't think we shine enough light on the fact that amongst all of those changes that are happening in our community, that the community is still thriving, and still surviving. And with all that change, it is going to continue to be and exist.
Yeah, you're right. All right, David. Well, that brings us towards the end of this throwing light. Of course, you are a part of my life, and I would love to have you back at any point on anything that's going on your journey as David Smith now, and the power that you have to be a light. You are a light, to David. I think that you're still the coolest. I do say that.
So thank
You
you.
have to be if you can be so smooth and suave and get people just to be comfortable around you.
I appreciate
Why,
that. Thank you.
David doesn't care if you're naked. He's gonna be naked though, and he's
That's
gonna make
right.
sure you're okay with that.
Exactly. I'm always the first one naked at the
You're
party.
just like, and just not phased, not thinking, just like this is who I am.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That brings us to the end of throwing lights. Goodbye, David. I enjoyed having you on the show. See you again. See you soon, actually. For y'all, remember, if you're not throwing lights, you're not
Acting right.
acting right. There we go. See y'all later.
Thanks, LT.